point that knew that he would be throwing the ball well tonight. Defensively, we got a little bit tired there in the end. I mean, that was a wild third quarter. I think we had an 18-play drive, used up 7 minutes, and then it was all Louisville the rest of the third quarter. We needed to get one more on. David Emerson got interceptional. I don't know if I've seen any better, and I got to go look at it on tape because I couldn't see a lot. It was over once he got caught up in their boundary, and then you look at the last play of the game. He went up to get that ball. He was going to take it away from everybody. He took the one away for the touchdown. So, I think certainly he's deserving of the record he has. I think, Michael's probably put himself a little bit in the record books, and the good news for us is, a lot of those guys, both of them we're talking about, will be back next year.
Questions? Again, raise your hand. We'll get to everybody. First question in the middle of the room.
You didn't receive that much criticism locally, but there was more nationally about the decision you made going with Michael and Russell leaving. The way that he's grown, developed, and matured, culminating with tonight's performance and certainly the comeback against Maryland, do you feel vindicated by what he's done?
I never had to feel vindicated by any of that. That would never be my goal once I made a decision. I don't care what people think. I made a decision what was best for this football team going forward. And when I made the decision, weighing all options and looking at the talent that this kid has, I knew that we would have a quarterback at school. I wouldn't have been sure if I went the other way if Russell Wilson would ever come back to school. And so, when I made the decision, I think I made the right choice, and I don't have to feel vindicated by anybody. But he helped me.
He did. That's what I was looking for, by the way.
Coach, your thoughts on the defensive line and how it was able to kind of generate pressure, especially in the second half, really when you needed it to?
Well, we found a couple twists that we thought, and then certainly, the blitz package we got after the quarterback, we stayed after him, and he took some big hits, but he got up and kept throwing the ball. So I mean, he's going to be a talented guy. I don't know if we want to play their team in a couple of years from now.
It was the way the season has gone. It was 31-10. Did you think it was a little too easy? You haven't done anything.
Well, the first thing I thought is, you guys were going to come in and say we finally scored the first drive in the first quarter, which we've never done all year. So, you guys that got the pen last always win. But no, I mean, you never feel like it's over at that point because of the way things can happen in bowl games. But you have to give the defense credit. They were on the field for a long time. They found a way to make plays, and we had at least 2, maybe 3 fourth down stops. I can't remember the exact number of fourth down stops we had, but that probably made the difference in the game.
Mike, after going 5-2 and qualifying for bowl eligibility the way you guys did, how tough was it to kind of keep that momentum and just kind of keep that going? Sitting around for 4 weeks. I know you were practicing and everything, but to come back here and play after such a long break.
Well, we practiced a lot, so I don't think there was really any time. And,
Coach O'Brien likes to practice.
And we had the 2 days that some of us probably weren't too excited about, but I think overall it's worth the reward when you get a victory like this.
What do you think is the secret? He's now, I believe, 9-2, Coach, in bowl games?
Well, personally 8-2, but who's counting? 9-2 my teams.
Is there, you've been through it now a couple of years. You've seen it. What is the secret to his success?
Well, I don't know how other programs do it, so I can't really speak too much on it, but the formula that he does is how much we practice and how we go back to a spring practice situation or fall camp to focus on individual skills, and then we start focusing on the opponent as the process goes on, and it's obviously proven to be successful.
Back right.
Mike, now that it's over, how much pressure did you feel when Coach, chose you really instead of Russell? I mean, how much pressure, now that it's all over, can you give us a sense of how much pressure that was?
I really try not to worry about it too much the whole time. I knew he was a great player and he would do great at wherever he ended up, but I also felt confident in myself, and I think my teammates felt very confident in me. So I knew with how the coaches prepared me that I would do just fine this year.
Mike, what kind of job do you think your receivers did tonight?
That first catch by Tobias is probably the best catch I've seen this year, and then the TJ where he probably made 3 guys miss him. That's really something special. Those are big time plays, and it's quarterback's favorite thing.
Coach, their special teams made some huge plays, but
Yes,
your
they did.
defense stepped up and balanced that out some. The stops on the fourth down, especially some of the hits, Terrell had a huge hit, Audie had a couple of really big hits on some of those plays. The fact that these guys have been at times, but when they've had to step up on a lot of occasions, especially the second half of the year when the group was healthier, they've made a lot of those plays.
Well, they have because we got healthy and we got bodies in front of them. You know, they're able to run because there's a lot of guys absorbing the other blocks and they're free to get to the ball. And, you know, once we got healthy, you know, I told this team before the game, and I told them in the locker room afterwards that I'm as proud as this team as any that I've been around. This has been as frustrating a year, I know, for them and us starting off, but it's been certainly a rewarding year. You know, last year's team won 9 football games, but they had really no adversity. I mean, we were healthy, we snuck up on people, you know, a lot of things went our way. Nothing went our way this year, and we won 6 of the last 8 games, ended up going 4-2 in the conference and winning 8 football games. I think it's a great accomplishment for these kids, and they should be proud of it, especially the seniors. I think, you know, coming and winning a bowl game, and certainly, you know, we win it for each individual members on the team, the coaching staff, you win it for your school, but then our conference needs to win a few games too in this bowl season.
Do you have any kind of report on Will Bauman's status? And did your freshman special
He's gonna
teams?
play next week?
No, but I mean, is he? I mean,
Yeah,
how badly was
he
he
has a
hurt?
sprained knee. Wentz, who, you know, really was probably, you know, the 2 guys you know, we could ill afford to lose would have been our center and our punter in a game like this. But, you know, Ellis came in, did a nice job with the one punt he did. And then, you know, when Cam went down there, that's a tough loss. So you got to give Crawford and Ford and both of those guys a lot of credit. You know, Wayne has played offense, defense, right guard, left guard, center. You know, he went in there and did a heck of a job, and so did Fordham. So, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, they kept him clean enough to throw the football. And we thought that, you know, our matchup with our wideouts against their guys, we could win a few of these battles.
Did your freshman special teams guys maybe have a little bit of nerves today? A couple of those snaps, the block punt.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't asked them. You know, all I do is encourage them when they come off after something like that. You got to keep their heads up and keep playing.
The Cincinnati game, I know you had a lot of injuries going into that game, but for a second, if you go back to that night and where you are now, I mean, is that as dramatic an in-season turnaround as any team you've coached experienced?
Well, it is because we got healthy, and you got to give the coaching staff tremendous credit. You know, they did a great job through that point, because at that point, we had to assess who we were and what we could be, taking who we thought was going to come back. Now, we had to get lucky with some of these guys getting back on time. You know, the defense changed every, you know, move guys outside, because when you lose your best end the first game of the year, before the second practice, you lose your best defense tackle in preseason camp. His backup, you got all kind of problems up front. We lost, you know, Manning didn't play Cincinnati. But they put it together, and at the end of the day at Georgia Tech, when you're sitting 11th in total defense and you look at the end of the year and you're 4th, that's a pretty dramatic change. And then you take into effect that these guys had to grow up and play, and the progress that the quarterback has made, I think it all adds up to where we are, winning 6 of our last 8 games.
Mike, your next game will be like a bowl game. How do you think this game sets you up for next year and moving forward?
Well, obviously Tennessee at the Georgia Dome is going to be something exciting. I know we're already looking forward to it, and I'm sure we'll have that bowl atmosphere with State and divided. At least this time we'll know who's NC State and who's Tennessee. But I think it's a great way to start off the season. That's why you come to a school like NC State.
We might be able to sell a few tickets for that one.
Hey, Mike, was there ever any doubt in your mind that this thing was going to get turned around? I mean, after the Cincinnati game, I guess everybody had to be pretty low. How surprised are you at the dramatic change?
I think our seniors really set us up to come back with our captains. Once we got JR back, our leadership stepped up dramatically. And the type of players that we have on this team is to fight through the adversity and never quit. And that's kind of what we did throughout the season.
It was a good season no matter what happened today, but how much does this add to it?
I think 8 and 5 sounds a lot better than 7 and 6, and that's kind of what Coach Bob was saying ever since we got this. 8 sounds a lot better than 7, and we knew that this was an important game for our seniors and then for our program heading into next year.
Anyone else?
Was it nice coming to a bowl game where you had a lot of fans in the stand?
Yeah, well, our fans will travel anywhere. In Orlando, we had a lot of fans last year, but this year it was great to see so many NC State people come. And I know we can continue to sell our allotment and kept asking for more. So we have some of the best fans, and I'm sure they'll always be there for us.
Anyone else?
Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Tom.